What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Stock Option Recap for May 13th, 2021. The Dow Jones is up 1.29%, the Nasdaq's up 0.72%, and the S&P is up 1.22%. Now, before we get in the video, make sure you hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. We're live, market open to market close Monday through Friday, so you're definitely going to want to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can be notified the second we go live. And also when we post videos. Now, today was another pretty crazy day in the market. Not quite as crazy as yesterday. We did have a little bounce from the downside, but personally, I am expecting a little bit more downside from here. Usually when we sell off like this, it sells off for a couple days, bounces back up, then it'll sell off for a couple days, bounce back up, and then we'll have our final sell-off before the final bounce. So that's pretty much what I'm expecting, another day or two of big down days, or maybe even just semi-big down days, maybe not as crazy as yesterday, but I am expecting another sell-off coming into tomorrow and maybe even Monday. But let's get into the options and start out with the calls. Our first call we're going to talk about today is AMC. AMC had a really crazy day today. At one point, it was up almost 30% on the day, and a lot of these options went insane. There were a lot of options that were over 1,000%, but you could have got these 11 calls for about $25, $30 in the morning, and they shot up a little over $300 at the top of the day. Even if you would have held them into the close, you still would be up a few 100%. So super crazy moves on AMC. The option market was not expecting a move like this at all. And a lot of your meme stocks were actually up on the day. So it was really interesting. Even GameStop was up today, but the options just didn't react quite like AMC. AMC has been kind of stuck in a range for a very long time. So a big move like this really wasn't expected. Even the volume is pretty crazy. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually continues on the upside, but I really doubt it. We'll just have to see how it turns out. But super crazy plays on there, a little over 1,000% on pretty much all of the options. Even some of your further out contracts were up almost 2,000%, like these $12 calls. You could have got these for about $15, $20, and they shot up a little above $240 on the top, so that's about 1,200%, maybe a little more. These 1250s you could have got for about $10, $15, and they shot up a little over $200, so it looks like the 12s were the best as far as percentages go, but you had so much opportunity on the AMC chain. You just had to be able to take the initial risk to play it. I'm personally not a big fan of these hype stocks, so I would never play it, but that is a crazy move on AMC. You may even want to keep an eye out for a potential play on the downside if it reverses, because a big 30% up day like this, if it doesn't hold up here, it should come back down with the same amount of velocity. We'll just have to see how it plays out. I wouldn't get too crazy on there. Another pretty crazy call on the day was Peloton. Peloton hasn't been doing that well ever since they announced they were recalling their treadmills, so a big bounce like this was very surprising, and you had a lot of opportunity on the options coming into the support level on the day, this $90 level. A lot of these options were really cheap as soon as it hit this level, and some of them were really cheap in the morning as well, but a lot of the option premium came down a lot coming into that support level. You could have got these $96 calls for about $30, $35 at the bottom of that support level. They shot up a little over $130 towards the end of the day. Of course, maybe you wouldn't have wanted to hold it. I don't know. It just depends how you were feeling about the play, but that's a little over 400% just on this move here. And that's a move the final hour or two of the market. So pretty crazy right there on Peloton. You could have even played it in the morning. You could have got the options for about $40, $50, and it made the same type of move coming into the morning. Just the options were a little bit more expensive. So that was a pretty dope play on the day. I've been looking at the 2023 Peloton calls for quite a while, and I just really haven't wanted to pull the trigger on there, but Peloton has been trading pretty crazy. It's had a wide range ever since their earnings, so very interesting to see Peloton moving the way it is, especially after the recall news and everything that's been going on ever since they had their earnings report and they had this second huge drop down to almost the $80 level. Now, those were the best opportunities on the calls. There were a few other call plays you could have done, but those were the craziest percentages on the day. Now let's get into some of the put options I was looking at. Let's start out with Bumble. Bumble wasn't like the craziest percentage on the put side, but I thought it was very interesting. You could have got these $40 puts for about $20 early in the morning and maybe even $40 at the most, depending where you bought it at. But these shot up a little over $230 at the top of the day. Bumble was getting really annihilated today, but I actually kind of like Bumble for the long term. They had pretty good earnings. Their earnings were in the morning today, but I kind of like Bumble for the long term, so I may want to pick up some shares on there. I'm still being kind of cautious with growth, but I think these Bumble shares are pretty attractive right now considering they were at $80 coming into their IPO, and they've already dropped over 50%, so I kind of like this. Still going to be kind of cautious there, but I might want to start scaling in on some shares here. Another pretty crazy put play on the day is Square. Square has been getting annihilated. They bounced pretty much right off that 270, 280 resistance level, and they've been coming down ever since they hit that. And then Elon tweeted yesterday after hours that they weren't going to accept payments for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dropped, so I'm sure that had something to do with Square falling off more today. Square has a big position in Bitcoin, so any negative news on Bitcoin is going to affect Square, but I may want to get a potential call play on Square. But as far as the puts, you could have got these 170 puts for about $35, $40 earlier in the morning if you would have bought this little dip right here. If you would have bought them right in the morning, you would have been paying about $70, $60. So if you would have got them at the $40, $35 level, you could have sold them at the top for about $160. That's a little over 400%, so pretty crazy moves on there. It seems like these 170s were actually really mispriced, but you could have played the 165s as well. You could have got these for about $30 on that same dip. They shot up a little over $110. There was quite a bit of opportunity on Square. Very good put plays on the day, and I wasn't even looking at the May 14th. I was actually on the May 21st chains, so it actually looks like you could have made 1,000% on some of these Square options. You could have got these 190s for about $25 on that dip, $25, $30, and they shot up a little over 280. So if you would have got them at $25, that's a little over 1,000%. Pretty crazy on the weekly options, but these would have expired tomorrow, so you got to be really aware of that. Preferably, you would want the May 21st. I showed you the opportunity on there, but the May 14th went crazy today. Another pretty crazy put play on the day was Riot. You could have played Mara as well, but Riot had way more opportunity on the options. They were just a lot cheaper in the morning. You could have got these 23 puts for about $20 on the dip here. If you would have bought them right in the morning, you would have been paying about $35, but these shot up a little over $250 on the bottom of the day of Riot. So pretty crazy play there. That's definitely way over 1,000% on Riot. Mara had the same type of move as Riot, but the options are a lot more expensive on Mara, so there just wasn't as much opportunity on Mara, but Riot went crazy, so that was a pretty crazy play. Maybe you could hit some upside plays on Riot if the crypto market recovers, but I would just be really careful with these. Although they are super volatile, there's a lot of opportunity. As you've seen here, Riot is the better play, so if you're going to play either one, Riot might be your better bet, but just keep an eye on those option premiums so you're not overpaying for any of these plays. Now, the final one on the day is ARK. A lot of your growth stocks have been getting obliterated, or your wood stocks, or whatever you want to call them, but you had a lot of opportunities on ARK today as far as the puts go. You could have got these 98 puts for about $20, $25 on the little dip here, and then they shot up a little over $210, so pretty crazy moves on there for the day on ARK. You wouldn't really expect ARK to move that much because it is an ETF, but all the growth stocks that ARK are invested in are coming down a lot, and a lot of people are just getting negative views on ARK, so it's kind of making the ETF react very negatively. But as you can see, you could have killed it on the puts today, almost 1,000%. Pretty crazy there. A lot of 1,000%ers on the weekly options today, but we are coming into the last day of the expiration tomorrow, so you're going to see a lot bigger moves on these weekly options, or now they're becoming daily options, so you just got to be super careful on there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Also, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. We're live, market open to market close Monday through Friday, so you're definitely going to want to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can be notified the second we go live. And also when we post videos, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.